What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new project from Injury Reserve, which is self-titled. Now, Injury Reserve is a trio coming out of Arizona. They're made up of the producer Parker Corey and the rapper Stepper J. Grog and Richie with the T, and they have really amassed quite a following over the past couple of years. They put out two really solid projects that I enjoyed with Floss and Live from the Dentist Office, so I think they've been pretty consistent as far as things go. And with this project, I was really curious to see which direction they'd be going in, since this apparently is their debut album. The other ones, I believe, were just considered mixtapes. So the thing with Injury Reserve is that they do try new things with the production. They do get experimental with their vocals and stuff once in a while, and that can be a double-edged sword. I think it'll work for some people, but there are other instances where it's certainly not going to work. I know you can say the same thing about any artist, but I think that's especially true with them because they're not afraid to push those boundaries and try new things. Certainly do appreciate that about them. But there are some things here, for example, that didn't work for me, like Koruna and Lime. This kicks off with like 40 seconds of screaming and screeching before this really slow, clunky beat comes in. Just really wasn't an exciting way to start the project. Didn't like that as a single. And even though Rap Song Tutorial does have this cool idea where they steadily build a rap song, it's more of a novelty track than anything else. I don't see myself coming back to this one to turn it up and listen to it, but it was kind of fun for that first listen. So these are some of the things I'm speaking on that are a little bit different that they're trying, but might not work for everybody and, didn't really work for me. But if you do like the more traditional sound, you are getting stuff like Gravy and Biscuits. This is just a piano-laced joint, but wasn't really anything too memorable about this one. I'd actually put it as one of my least favorites as well, because I thought the bars and the rapping were pretty bland. And Three Man Weave, the outro, is really jazzy and coming through with basketball references, and even some references to the classic Lil B and Fonte song, Bass for Your Face. Love that joint, so I really appreciate how they mentioned that, because I had actually forgotten about it, so that was kind of a cool thing for them to do, and I did think this was one of the better tracks on the album, in my opinion. Of course, I am kind of into the more traditional sound a bit more. I admit that, I'm an old head, so it really stuck with me, but it is what it is, and it does help to have that versatility, because you are going to reach different people. You also have moments of vulnerability on tracks like What a Year It's Been. Here we have Steppa battling alcoholism, which I thought was a pretty interesting thing for him to speak on, because you can connect with people when you do that, and it's not always easy to open up about those issues. I do appreciate that. But you're getting these glitches and blips and bloops and shit all over this song. This is a perfect example of some of that experimentation. Maybe it's supposed to be one of those things that is kind of showing you the crack in the person or the glitch within them and stuff that's going on, but to me it just sounds like the track was fucked up. I listened to it the first time and thought something was wrong with my speakers, with my headphones I should say, but after listening back to it, it kept going on, so that was kind of a weird choice. I didn't really care for that too much. And despite the lifeless auto-tune hook, I thought Richie with the T had one of the album's best verses on Best Spot in the House. Here he's speaking on how people have come up to him to tell him that his music has saved them and changed their life, and on one hand he kind of feels pressure from that, but he's also realizing that they're kind of discrediting themselves by saying that. They're the ones who are taking control and changing their life, but as glad as he is that his music helped them, he can't really be in that position to say that he's saving all these people and shit. At least that's how I took it. I thought it was just something kind of interesting to think about, and I'm sure plenty of artists go through that. So those were a couple of the tracks or a couple of verses that really stuck out to me, but for the most part I think it's the features who stole the show on this shit, man. As far as the rapping goes, I'm not really blown away by what Injury Reserve is doing, that's just me personally, but you got Freddie Gibbs fucking snapping on Wax On. This is a very slinky beat with some strings coming into play. I think Gibbs bodied that shit. Then on Jailbreak the Tesla, we're getting this mechanical futuristic banger with references to hacking and technology. Also get this robotic effect on there that is on some Ziv Zoolander shit. But Amine snapped on that. I mean, I'm not a huge Amine fan when I look back at some of his projects I've listened to, but his flows on this were really dope. Thought he killed that. And of course, we got to talk about Rico Nasty on Jawbreaker. Loved her verse, just the pure personality and charisma she has as she speaks on just being herself and not being bothered by other people who are saying, you're a black girl, you should do this or you should do that. She's just got her own style and she's fucking with that. And the production on this was really cool too. Made me think of like a jungle level in a video game, man. Maybe some Donkey Kong Country type of shit, flying around through barrels, collecting bananas, Diddy Kong up in this bitch. So obviously that's not a bad thing. Really cool production on that. You got Richie on here just going on this rant about fashion and calling out Ian Connor for all his rape and sexual assault allegations. That part was kind of funny, just the way he was ranting on him. Really cool song, man. I like that one quite a bit, and as one of the singles I thought that was dope. So Yeah, you know, this one, it's really, this was hard for me to review, man, because it's all over the place. I think the production throughout is mostly incredible, except for those couple of things I didn't really care for. I think that was probably the best part. I think the features are well placed. I think some of these verses are good, although some of them are a little bit fillerish. But in the end, I ended up going with a 3.5 rather than a 3. I was kind of stuck between both of those, but I like that they are doing some different things. They're not afraid to push those boundaries, and it does pay off more often than not. There's just some instances that really took me out of it and didn't work. So that's just my opinion. I also got to point out the song Get the Fuck Up, GTFU. This track was hard as hell. Cakes to Killer coming through with a great verse. JPEG Mafia just bringing that energy on the hook. Really just a rowdy banger that sort of reminds me of, you know, some of the stuff they did on their previous work where you're getting these catchy hooks and just a lot of aggression. So I thought that was cool. But again, with the rapping, kind of hit and miss. Richie's just doing that thing where he's throwing nigga at the end of every bar, and that shit just gets old to me like 9 out of 10 times. But it is what it is, man. This review was all over the damn place because honestly, that's how I felt about this album. I think most people probably liked it more than me, but I still think it's pretty good, and it'll likely be an honorable mention. Just another good addition to their discography. So that's what I think about it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. And of course, make sure you do all that good YouTube and social media stuff where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.